solo.
And hello! Welcome to Solo Playthroughs. Here we are. 2 Spirit Islands in 2 weeks. It's a new day. I don't know what it is. I've just had the time to really invest in some stuff. Some things have cleared off my schedule for the last couple of weeks, and it's been nice to learn some new games, get them on the channel, and kind of get back to some stuff that I love. And we'll see. So I am thinking about getting another stream on the channel, or 2, maybe even this week, and hopefully 2 more next week. But I am going to try to very methodically go through the new spirits of Nature Incarnate now that the cat is out of the bag. And again, everyone who's been waiting for this moment can all thank Daniel Gilligan, who also is the one who coined the phrase, at least first time I saw it was Dancey Boi, for Dances Up Earthquakes. Normal shoutouts. Thanks again to Broken Token for a review copy of the Spirit Island inserts. They are amazing. Thanks again to Great in the Games and Flat River Group for a review copy of Horizons of Spirit Island, as well as the premium token pack for Nature Incarnate. I have appreciated that support of the channel as well. Tabletop Troubadour, I'm weird. I get giddy when I see Greg has a new Spirit Island playthrough coming to YouTube. Let's go! And Private Vendetta says that seems like a reasonable reaction, or maybe not so reasonable, but I appreciate it. I appreciate that, that effect that I have. Hold on one second. When I shake, make sure I have this setting. All right, that's fine. All right, cool. I do want to touch on one rules mistakes I made in the last game. Not sure if it would have mattered. Somebody smarter than me with more time on their hands, or more time they want to spend on this specifically, can tell me if it would have mattered. But in the last playthrough, I played as Darkness. I actually made no rules mistakes as Darkness, and I made no rules mistakes with the mining colony of Habsburg, so I feel good about that. But what I did do is there was a moment where I gained an element in the middle of a turn. I gained it as a result of an event card, and I used that to augment the power of venomous spiders. That was wrong, because when I played venomous spiders, it is a fast power. So even though the effect of venomous spiders had a potential effect that happened in the slow power phase or during the invader steps, I still needed to have the elements to hit that threshold when I played the card in the fast power phase. So that was a mistake. So I did 4 damage that I should not have done. And obviously, butterfly effect, who knows how that could have changed things. And once you go from there, it was a pretty significant 4 damage for sure. But there might have been other ways I could have done some different things. Who knows? Especially with my margin being so thin. Remember, I ended that game with 1 blight. I did accept a 2 blight per player card as my Blighted Island card. So with that out of the way, we'll see what mistakes I make today to get wins that aren't legitimate. But I'll tell you what. So this is one of those spirits where if I lose, I'm going to feel like really bad, because I'm going to really gas this spirit up a lot. And if I win, I'm going to be like, yep, that's because the spirit is really strong. Some might say broken. I don't know. It's some ideas that when you really get your head around what's going on here, and if you time it just right, you can do some really, really sick things. For example, I haven't played England forever, by the way, so it's been a long time. So my first game, I'm like, you know what, we're going to take Earthquake against England, because if I'm ever going to play England again, I'm doing it with this spirit. So why not? And for the record, I did get trounced the first time I tried it. And then I played again, and I ended up with Incarnate spirits, they can be really, really strong. Oh no! Well, all right. There was no volume when I did that. Sorry. Audio input. I should be able to. All right, we good. You should hear me now. Sorry about that. Thank you for letting me know. So, what I was saying, this is what happens when things go right. I did get some help with some good fear cards. I got some help with an event. I had the event where they gets the new far off invaders war card. I really like how they rebalanced that a little bit. This was 7 turns in. This is a Terra level 2 victory, and as you can see, there's 1 explorer left on the card, and it's 7 turns in. I put a presence out 6 out of 7 turns, and it's just really insane. Like, this is where Dances Up Earthquake can go when things break your way. I did go Blighted Island. The Far Off Invaders card did make me add 2 Blight, so that was a big reason why I went Blighted Island, but it was absolutely the right choice to take that risk. And yeah, thanks, Jeremy. I realized what I had done wrong. I created the new scene yesterday and just forgot to put some audio in because, who wants audio? Adam says, hey, Greg, any thoughts on tomorrow's Mage Knight reveal? I have thoughts. I'm look. Paul Grogan is a patron, has reached out to me, and I might have a chance to get a review copy, and an early copy. So I'm excited about that. There is a level of genuine excitement. There's also a level of genuine skepticism. I worry about deck balancing. I worry about enemy balancing. I worry about, like, one of the things I've said so often, especially as we've gotten more content for, for Spirit Island, the more Set a Watch and Uprising, and my favorite games, there's more content, and I'm always like, And one of the things that I think really, as I've said, helped Maze Knight get to my number 1 was that it was a done. It was a done deal. That was the game. No new content. And I just loved how deep it was with that. And you just kind of knew what you were getting into every time. And there was no learning. And, it is what it is. There was like strategy learning and tactical learning, but there wasn't like rules learning and seeing new interactions because of new rules. It was like you were seeing new interactions because there was so much depth in that game. So I wasn't very much like, oh, joy. I was like, no. But look, I mean, Paul's involved, Phil's involved. I do hope that they didn't rip off like Dursu Salazar or Drake Seaward's like scenario. I'm guessing they didn't. I guess the Apocalypse Dragon was part of the original lore for the minis game, which I don't know anything about really. Other than like bits and pieces here and there. So it has a chance to be great. It has a chance to be terrible. It has a chance to be something I'm going to use like Tesla, where it's like, hey, it's a nice change of pace, but I'm glad I don't need to play with this every time. So I do hope the enemies are, in a coherent like faction kind of thing again, as opposed to like being, oh, throw them in with your regular enemies, because there's the balance of the game is so special. Where it is. And so I don't know. It is what it is. I'm sure it's great. Private Vendetta says no sound after scene change. Yep, sound went out. Can't hear you. Good talk. Sound is back. Excellent. Adam says I'm hoping it's more of an improvement than more content. Yeah, I just don't know what you're improving, right? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not a game that I want improved, right? It's just I don't. Anyway, let's move on. So Spirit Island back because I know the overlap between Spirit Island and Maze Knight communities is pretty substantial, but I also know that it is not a perfect. It is a definite Venn diagram where people are like. There are Spirit Island players who hate Maze Knight players that do not like Spirit Island. So it is what it is. All right, let's get back to this. All right, so that was that's what happens when things go well. I lost the game when things went poorly. So I'm 1-1. Feel pretty strongly that I expect the latter to happen more than the former, even factoring in how a little bit lucky I got with certain things in that last playthrough. Just like, yeah, no, this is my fourth game at Dances Up Earthquakes, and it's my third game in a row against England. So again, the learning curve should be less of an issue. I do think that Dances Up with some spirits, it's like trying to prevent adjacencies against England is foolish. I think Dances Up Earthquakes, that's a huge part of your strategy. Like you just want to negate all the adjacencies you can as early as you can. Obviously, England's extra health at the higher levels makes that hard, but I think we'll make this work. So I'm going to stop shuffling the Blighted Island cards there, and we're going to add 3 Blight to that. 1 and 2 and 3. I do have the camera a little bit lower than normal, so we'll see how that works. It's going to be a lot because we're going to have to use this area pretty well as we put out all of Dance's cards. We're going to shuffle up the power decks. Boo-doo-doo. Yeah, that game yesterday was crazy. It's like I was like, I'm gonna wipe out everything from the island, and I was like, oh, that's stupid. The solo little explorer who survived the onslaught. It's frustrating. I was hoping I get clean plate club, but that solo that the little explorer prevented it. But yeah, it was really the way the terrain came out. There were so many times that I was like, nope, not adjacent. Nope, not adjacent. It was really nice. All right, this is the major power deck. So shuffle this one more time. We are primarily a minor spirit. The way Dance Up Earthquakes goes, the way I'm playing them, I really am a sucker for a 0 energy cost card. I find that hugely important. And if you find a 0 energy cost card that also has a mountain, I will almost take it every time. There was very few things that you could give me that would make me happier when I'm doing my power card draws. We probably will end up with 1 major the first time we reclaim. That is built into the fabric of Dances of Earthquakes. So that's something I definitely think is worth taking advantage of. Tribal Trap Troubadour says, hey, where is the Mage Knight reveal occurring and when? It is going to be on Paul Grogan's channel, which is Gaming Rules. It is tomorrow. I do not know the time. Adam says, I am at least happy it's not going to be crowdfunding. Yeah, God, as soon as I heard about it, I mean, WizKids, I was assuming it would not do crowdfunding. They are not they're not a company. I mean, even with the Ultimate Edition, they didn't crowdfund that. You know, they sell so many things in like the comic book space and other things. I just don't think crowdfunding would make sense to them as a business model. This goes here. I mean, it also makes me, a little bit more appreciative of how absurdly large the Ultimate Edition box is, because now I have things to put in there. Because I'm assuming whatever they give me will not fill that box up, because that would be bananas. All right, I'm shuffling up our minor powers. Dance Up Earthquakes, again, is another spirit that I think hugely benefits from just an absurd number of starting powers. Many Minds I find going before Nature Incarnate, I would have said Many Minds was the most boring spirit in the game because they were so kind of workmanlike, and they just did everything too well. They generated way too much fear. Like, I just find that spirit pretty broken. Plus, they had that extra unique power. Dance Up Earthquakes, I think the 6 unique powers make sense for it. It is part of what makes them insanely strong. But I will say, like, I like the puzzle of Dance Up Earthquakes more than the one for Many Minds. But I also think at some point you're playing so many powers with Dance Up Earthquakes that it just doesn't even matter what they do. The fact is that they're doing something. And on a smaller board, especially a 1 or 2 player game, doing 7 cards that are doing something, or 5 cards and your 2 unique powers, you're just going to have just such wildly efficient turns that if you see the combos that are there, it can be really, really sick. And you're doing it for dirt cheap as well, which is part of what makes the spirit just really, really crazy. So I don't know if they're the strongest spirit in Nature Incarnate. Emberide Behemoth is pretty absurd, but they Dances Up Earthquakes, I do think, you know, once, especially as you learn how to play them, I do think it's probably even stronger than that. So, but I've only played Emberide once. I played them very badly once, and I was like, oh, the spirit's really kind of disgustingly good. So, all right, let's get into story time with Greg. All the decks are shuffled. Dances up Earthquakes, a traveling spirit of movement and movement's deep power, circling a bright leap of flame, dancing atop dark mysteries of night and earth. It roams the island as its visions and will to motion bid, dancing with and among whomever it finds. The waves on the shore, the animals of the jungle, the spirits, the trees, the Dahan, and especially the earth itself. The Dahan learned long ago that if the land dancer was aware of them, village wrecking earthquakes became much rarer. Through this, they found that many spirits appreciate and gain power from various patterns of dance and rhythm, in addition to those of line, shape, and word. Setup: put one presence on your starting board of the highest number land with a Dahan. You have 6 starting unique powers and 0 energy. Set the Quake tokens aside. These are the Quake tokens. Dun, dun, dun. You would think they're hard to get out, but nope, they are easy to get out. You will use a lot of them. Complexity very high. Sure, they're fine. I guess that's mildly justified, but definitely not like, you know, Fractured Days or Starlight very high, at least not in my opinion. But also the window's probably shifted a bit to the right as to what is very high in my mind. Daniel Gilligan, whoa, dude, twice in a few days. I don't know if I didn't know any better. I swear you actually enjoyed this game. Liar! No, I remember that was like, yeah, that feel like, do you hate this game now? Like, no, I just don't have time to play it. I still don't really have time to play it, but I'm making time to play it. But it's just fine. Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, says Tabletop. Daniel, can't wait to see this one. Yeah, Dance Up Earthquakes into Dancey Boi. Come on, bud. You're killing me. Into England 6 seems like a very interesting matchup. Private Vendetta, the stream should be on Paul's stream, should be around, let's say the stream on Paul's stream should be at 3 p.m. Eastern. -1 should. Thanks, Private. And Tabletop Troubadour says, thanks. All right. Special rules. Begin of Dance of Decades. Whenever you would play a power card, you may instead pay any amount of energy onto the card to make it an impending card. So I have Radiating Tremors. I could pay 2 energy and have that card in play on this turn, or I could pay 1 energy and have it come into play on a future turn, or I could pay 0 energy and still just have it as an impending card. All right. It doesn't provide elements. It's still your power card, so it could be forgotten even while it's impending. Rhythmic power builds to a cataclysmic crescendo. When you gain energy from your presence track, you also gain an energy amount that's in like a card box. And then you put that much energy onto each power card that is made impending on a previous turn. If any impending cards now have energy on them at least equal to their cost, discard that energy and play them. This costs no card plays. Right, so if I have 2 card plays, so say I'm on, you know, I have this over here. I put an energy on here. Now this becomes part of my cards I'm playing this turn, but it does not cost any of my card plays. So every turn I'm playing cards in 2 fashions. I'm playing them as cards that are going to be played this turn, and I'm playing them as cards that are going to be impending for future turns. And your innates are really going to trigger off of both. Your left innate cares about how many cards you have impending, and your right innate cares a lot about how many cards you have in play. Let's talk about them. Land Creeks with Tension. Fast power. Target is yourself. If you have 1 Earth and you have at least 1 impending card, you can add a Quake token to one of your lands. If you have 1 Moon and 1 Earth, in one of your lands, defend 1 per impending card. Max 3. If you have 1 Moon and 2 Earth, if you have at least 3 impending cards, you can add a Quake to one of your lands. And if you have 2 Moon and 3 Earth and one of your lands, defend 1 per impending card, max 3. So I can get basically 6 defend and 2 Quakes on the board. And you definitely want Quakes on the board. And again, notice, and all those things can be done in different land targets because the target is yourself. So as long as it's one of your lands, it doesn't matter how many different lands that you are doing this on. All right, so I could put like a Quake on 1, defend 3 over here. I could put 2 Quakes here, defend 6. I could put a Quake here, a Quake there, and defend 6. You have a lot of options if you have all those elements. But so Earth becomes pretty much the most important early, just to make sure you're getting these Quake tokens out on the board, because you are going to want them there later for sure. All right, Earth shudders, buildings falls. It is a slow power, range 0, and the target land must have a Quake token. If it doesn't have a Quake token, it'd be a pointless power anyway. If you have 2 fire, 3 earth, and 3 cards in play, you get to do 2 damage per Quake token in the land to towns and cities only. If you have 3 fire, 4 earth, and 5 cards in play, you generate 1 fear, and in any number of lands with a Quake token, you do 2 damage per Quake token to cities and towns only, and remove 1 Quake token in each of the lands that you do damage. And then 4 fire, 5 earth, and 7 cards in play, you can do 2 fear off the top. In each land where you have removed a Quake, you do 1 damage to each invader. Honestly, the final power of that innate seems really unnecessary, even against England 6. It's just like overkill. They're dead, man. They're all freaking dead. All right. I mean, for the most part. So we are going to set up our invader deck. England 6 has a very vanilla invader deck. So it's one of the nice things about playing against England, their invader deck. One of the very, 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 very few nice things about playing against England. They have no changes needed to their invader deck. So I did roll a 4. I think that probably fell off camera. I'm going to roll a die to get rid of one of these level 2 cards. Actually, would not mind the Coastal Lands card to be in the game. I find England's... Oh, yeah, the game I lost against England was actually the additional loss condition. It was not due to Blight. So that is another interesting wrinkle. You know, again, I'll go through England's special rules just as a quick refresher before we start here. So that is our invader deck. I do need to figure out what board I'm going to be on. Rolling a die. Oh, I rolled a D. I rolled a 4, which is D. So this is another thing that made me lose the first time I played England. I was on this board. So not exactly setting up well, but still, you know, it's hard not to like our chances against England with Dancey. All right, we're going to put our Dahan on the board first. I'm just going to put all the tokens on the board. Then I'm going to use all the escalators as I put it. The escalations for England, I should say, to be clear. So, escalators, where are you going? Nowhere, dude. I'm going to put that there. I found myself, I have to put a cover on the Blight because I keep trying to take Blight from the box. Like, everything else comes out of the supply, right? But it's like, no, Blight comes from the card, Greg. We're going to get a city there. So this is bad because it's really hard to negate adjacencies against board D. There are more adjacencies on board D than any other board, primarily because, solely because that level 1, normally the coastal lands are only adjacent to 2 other lands. Coastal lands on this board are adjacent to 4. I guess they're normally adjacent to 3. They're normally adjacent to 3. I guess this one's adjacent to 4. Why does it feel so different? This one's adjacent to 3. So C is adjacent to 3. E is adjacent to 3. F's adjacent to 3. I guess A and B are also adjacent to 4. But it really just makes for a pretty warped board with that. And again, the double wetlands makes you're much more at the mercy of a bad terrain pull against board D. So, but also at the counter of that is if you don't pull wetlands, if wetlands are just randomly out of the game, then you're actually making for an easier setup. So we'll see how this goes. And if it goes really terribly quickly, then I'm more than happy to just run this back. I got some time. We're starting earlier than I've been able to start recently. So we're gonna have a disease on land 2. We're gonna have the beast in the lowest number land without a pre-printed setup icon, which is land 3. And let's go through England's stuff. And then I have the power cards. So much more to go, kids. All right, additional loss condition. Proud and mighty capital. If there are 7 or more towns or cities are ever in a single land, the invaders win. I remember when I started playing this game and I thought that meant a single board, and that was insane. Stage 2 escalation, building boom. On each board with the most cities and towns, build in a land with the most cities and towns. On each board with cities and towns, build in a land with the most cities and towns. Level 1, build actions affect lands without invaders if they are adjacent to at least 2 towns and cities before the build action. Criminals and malcontents during setup. On each board, add a city to land 1 and a town to land 2. We've already done that. Level 3, high immigration tile. We have an extra build to deal with. It stays out the entire game, which is level 4. Local autonomy, towns and cities have +1 health, and independent resolve. This one can really screw you if you're not careful. During setup, add an additional fear to the fear pool per player in the game. So we have, should be per spirit in the game. So we have 5 fear in the fear pool. And during any invader phase where you resolve no fear cards, perform the build from the high immigration build twice. This has no effect if no card is in the extra build. So you do want to space out your fear. And we'll see. I have, in the last 2 games, I kept pulling that event that said you don't get any fear for destroying cities and towns. That was super fun, I assure you. And by super fun, I mean awful and made me cry. And it sucked. So we're going to put a starting presence in the highest number land that has the Hans. That's going to go there. My presence tracks are as follows. So we start with 1. We get 1 energy in the first turn, and we can put 1 energy on each impending card we have. Now notice, it's cards you put in play on a previous turn. I cannot have a card be impending and then immediately add an energy to it. So you do presence and then card plays. So again, it's only cards from a previous turn that get the energy. The rest of this track is 1 energy, move a presence, 2 energy, move a presence, or 2 energy. This says +1 card play for impending cards only, 3 energy, 2 energy on each turn on impending cards instead of the 1 energy on each turn. And then 4 energy and an element of your choice. I will be bottom tracking the heck out of Dancey Boi. So we are not going to worry too much about the top track. We are pretty much going entirely bottom track. All right, we are going to get 2 card plays from the start of the game. We can gather a Dahan into one of our lands, which is super nice. We get a moon and a fire. It is not an ore. We get +1 play for impending cards only. So that means we have 2 card plays, and then we have 1 card play that has to be an impending card. We have an earth, and then we have 3 card plays and 4 card plays. And again, I am absolutely just going to be caring only about the bottom track. I don't know how you would play top track, Dancey Boi, but I'm sure people have figured it out that are smarter than me. Adam says, since Mage Knight has such a great community, I'm hoping they collaborated with some of them with this expansion. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's like there is so much out there, like it's hard to imagine them missing. I mean, at first when I saw the name, I thought it was probably Dursu's scenario or Drake Seabird's scenario, again the Apocalypse Dragon, and maybe they combined a bunch of the popular fan made scenarios, and then I learned from Drake that no, they haven't talked to him at all, so I'm assuming that that's not what's happening. Again, mildly intrigued. Oh, I still need fear cards. The fear deck is 4/5/4. So let me shuffle these up real quick. I'm like, what am I missing? Fear cards, dude. You're missing fear cards. Otherwise known as the most popular way you beat England 6 if you ever manage to pull it off. Or you can just smush them and leave them with 1 lonely invader like I did yesterday, which was really fun. I mean, the crazy thing is, like, it's not like Dances of Earthquakes is like a hard counter. Like, this isn't like a lore versus Russia 6 situation, which I probably still should get on the channel considering I did lose that matchup when I tried it. When I tried it on camera. But Dances of Earthquakes is just that good. I can't see any adversary really presenting a unique challenge for them. So it is what it is. All right, that's gonna go. So we got 4, 5, 4. Go here. This go here. This will go here. All right, so our fear deck is set. We're gonna cover up Mr. You Win. And here are our 6 unique powers. Why 6? Because we like cards. So we have a 1-cost slow power, the Exaltation of Echoed Steps. It gives you a moon, a water, and an earth. Target spirit may push. You can target another spirit, and that target spirit that you target, obviously will be ourselves, may push 1 presence, bringing up to 1 explorer, town, Dahan, and beast with it. You may do likewise. So essentially in a solo game, you could do that yourself twice. We have a 0-cost slow power called Inspire a Winding Dance. It also has a moon and an earth and a water as an animal as well. It targets land one away from where you have presence. It targets a land with invaders. You get to push up to one explorer town and gather up to one Dahan. Rumblings portend a greater quake. It's a 1-cost power card that is fast. Target land is any one away from where you have presence. It has a moon, an air, and an earth, and a sun. If you have at least as many impending cards as power cards in play, you get 1 fear and add a quake token, and you get to push up to 3 Dahan. We have a 3-cost fast power, resounding snow footfalls, sow dismay. A target is range 0. The target land is any. It generates a fear. You can add a quick token, and you skip all ravage actions. It has an earth, an air, and a fire. We have Radiating Tremors, a 2-cost slow power card. Target land is range 0. It has a moon, a fire, and an earth. 2 damage. You may push any number of quake tokens, dividing them as evenly as possible between adjacent lands. And then finally, we have another 3-cost fast power, Gift of Seismic Energy. It has a moon, a fire, an earth, and a plant. Target is any spirit. If you target yourself, you just gain 3 energy. Otherwise, target spirit gains 1 energy per power card you have in play. Could be super strong in a multiplayer game, but also not a bad card to put out as an impending card play. And lo and behold, in 3 turns, you get a boon of 3 energy, which can be really, really important and nice. All right, so here are my power cards. Here are a bunch of reminder tokens. I think everything is good. We do have growth options to talk through. So our growth option A is reclaim all cards, and then either add a presence within 2 of where you have presence, or gain a major power without forgetting. So you would look at 4 cards, pick the major power you want, and you do not have to forget a power to do that. It's a really nice way to get a major power about halfway through the game. We have growth option B, which is gain a power card, add a presence. I will be spamming the heck out of growth option B. I cannot see myself doing C at all this game, to be honest with you. And then we have growth option C, add a presence. Now look, there is some really interesting. I see the power of C. I really do. But you really want power cards. You just want a lot of them. So I just can't see. I think the upside of a power card with Dancers for me is going to be better than the upside of having a better turn if I choose growth option C. But sometimes you might be like, I really need this appending card in play, and you might need growth option C to make that happen, because essentially you can add a presence 3 away from where you have presence, and then this turn you can gain plus or minus 1 energy on up to 2 impending cards. So you can really delay a card if you want it, or you can have a card get into play faster. Again, I just think you could really try to min-max the spirit, and I just think it's so strong at its core that I haven't felt the need to do that for the most part, where it's just kind of like, look, get cards in pending, get cards in play, good things are going to happen more often than not. That's just my general advice, especially if I'm doing it on a live stream where I'm going to be trying to play a little bit quicker than I would normally. All right, so we care about moon elements, we care about fire elements, and we care about earth elements. I'll have these dice here. We have some defense dice over here, and I'll use this to track what growth option I pick. So we are going to do our initial explore as the final part of setup. We are initially exploring into jungles. Tell it what we want, Bob. A jungle. All right, well, this is probably going to blight, and that's going to be fine. I'm not that worried about it, but it's a good place to be. I think we can really deal with some adjacency issues in this part of the board early, which I think could be good. So let's see how this plays out. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to gain a power card. I'm doing growth option B. I'm going to look at my minor power options. We have Dire Metamorphosis. It hits a moon and it hits an earth, and I love it. It makes me add a blight, which I don't love, but I really, really, really have grown to like that card a whole lot, especially with the Badlands and all that stuff. Could be super strong. Territorial Strife does not have an earth. Really don't care about it. I mean, yeah, it does some things. It does damage to explorers and towns in the land with the city. But again, Earthshudder's Buildings Fall pretty much does the same thing and a little bit better. Gift of Power. Target spirit gains a minor power card. I'm already going to be gaining a lot of power cards. I mean, power cards are great. I start with 6, though. Can't see how that's going to help me. And then we have Carapaced Land. It does have a earth, which I like. And if you have 2 earth, you can defend 6. that could be very strong. But Dire Metamorphosis is I think slightly better, but it does come at the cost of a blight. So maybe I take Carapace Land. It's also 0 cost, and I love me some 0 cost cards with an Earth. So in a surprising upset, because I really thought I was taking this, I just don't know how I don't take Carapace Land. And that's going to be what it be. All right. That's out. Ah, Dire Metamorphosis. I miss you already. We're going to take this, and we're going to get over it. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put one card in play. Oh, I'm gonna get. I put a presence on the board. I'm gonna put it here because I pretty much want a presence there next turn for Carapace Land, and that also is gonna let me do this ability here where I can gather a Dahan into one of my lands. So I'm gonna gather this Dahan here because why not? We are going to wanna. We have 2 card plays. I do get 1 energy, and I can play 2 cards. I'm gonna want to play a card that has an Earth, and I'm going to want to put 1 card in Impending, because that's how you play the game, kids. I'm letting a blight happen there. I don't really want to even try to prevent that. We could go ahead and set up Resounding Footfalls. I like that. So I'm gonna use the Ocean Depths token or Deeps tokens to indicate when I play a card that's impending, and then hopefully you'll be able to track me as I go from round to round. So again, I have 2 card plays. I put 1 in impending, and I want to put 1 in play, and I think I'll go with a 0 cost card. I will play Inspire a Winding Dance. All right, so I'm going to keep my 1 energy. We have our element check. We have 1 Earth, 1 Moon. None of these elements count. Remember, impending cards do not contribute elements. It's only the cards that are in play and elements on your board as normal. We have no fire, and we have 1 Moon and 1 Earth. So we do have the 1st and 2nd level of Land Creeks with Tension. We have 1 impending card. Oh, the excitement is palpable. So we are going to go to Fast Powers. I have the Land Creeks with Tension. If I have at least 1 impending card, which I do, I can add a Quake token in one of my lands. I will add this token here. That's super cool. And then in one of my lands, I can defend 1 per token. So I will just defend 1 here for no reason other than I can. We're going to go to that's the end of my Fast Powers. Again, Inspire a Winding Dance is slow. This is impending, so just you can ignore that for now. We are going to go to the Blighted Land effect. There is none. We're going to just flip over the top event card, Jagged Earth Rules. It would have been Distant Exploration, and now it's just nothing, and we just put it over there. And now we do the Invader Steps. There's no card on the High Immigration tile. There is no Ravage step. There is a build step. We are going to build a town in land number 6, and we would build in land 2, except the disease comes off and nothing happens. Now we explore. We're exploring into sands. Super interesting. So we do get an explorer here and an explorer here. I don't hate it. Invader cards are going to advance. Hope there's a way I can find to move that clown. I would like him to be moved, be gone. But if I can keep things out of 7 and 8, it's kind of like a moral victory for now. All right, we just got to make sure we don't build up to 7 towns or cities and lands 1 or 2, because that is going to be a pretty pending threat that we're going to have to deal with. Do I get pending? Carapace land is going to be there, so I'm going to be super defended there. And yeah, I think we'll be in good shape. So, I mean, I could like defend 6 and land 2, but not even. It's just not worth it. You got to get an early blight against England. You prevent the builds later. So we're going to do Inspire a Winding Dance. I'm going to push an explorer or a town. I'm definitely pushing this town over there. You go away. And I can gather up at Dahan. I don't want to gather at Dahan. I actually want to get Dahan out of there and set up something really cool on land 6. So that is my slow power. I do not have Earth Shudder's Buildings Fall. So time passes. This card's going to go into my discard, and then we're going to go back to growth. This can come off. Did its job. Now, in growth, I'm doing growth option B. Everyone acts surprised. I'm going to move this appending card over there just to, under my ugly face is not helpful. We're going to take our new options. Encompassing Ward. Target spirit provides 2 in each of its lands. Could be helpful. It's a 1-cost card with a Earth. We have Portents of Disaster. It's a 0-cost card, but it has a moon. Does not have a fire, however. It's 2 fear. The next time an invader is destroyed in that land, 1 fear. And again, getting a lot of fear can be helpful with level 6, because if we can get that 3 fear out, it will help us avoid the double build on the high immigration tile. So that is a strong contender for me for sure. We have Call to Migrate. This is a 1-cost card. Gather up to 3 Dahan, push up to 3 Dahan. And then finally we have Voracious Growth. Allows us a chance to remove a blight from a jungle or a wetland, but does not have by elements. And it does 2 damage, but again, 2 damage isn't as strong as England when the towns have 3 health instead of just 2. So we are going to go with Portents of Disaster. I like the flexibility that will give me as far as getting some fear generation. So this goes over here. Now we're going to place a presence on the board. I'll place this presence. Probably getting getting set up in land 4 could be helpful. Don't know. But we'll do that. I'm going to use this ability to gather a Dahan into one of my lands, because Dahan just love being where an earthquake's about to happen, apparently. And that's cool. And we're also going to gain our energy. So we're going to gain 1 energy to our general supply, and we're going to put 1 energy on Resounding Footfalls. That's so dismay. All right, so in 2 turns, we know that we're going to be able to skip a Ravage somewhere. So we'll be able to plan around that. I have 2 card plays again. Now, next turn, I'm going to be able to get an additional card play for impending cards only, and that's really when my engine's going to start to flow. But for this turn, I know I want to play Carapaced Land, and I think it will make some sense to play another impending card, and then next turn I can play 2 additional cards. So I'm not gonna have as many impending. I should. Yeah, I'll play this card here. That's fine. And that's also going to be impending. So again, I haven't spent any energy yet, but that's totally cool. Oh, I only need to defend 3 there too. I realized I didn't put a second Earth in play, but I actually don't even need it. But that's going to be really strong when I have defend 6 with card-based land for free. Like, that's such a good card. Although I think Dire Metamorphosis would have been a lot more fun. So anyway, we're going to do our fast powers. I have 1 Earth in play. Oh, and actually we do a full element check. We have a moon, we have 1 fire, and we have 1 earth. The moon, I'm sorry, the earth is going to allow me to, since I have at least 1 impending card, I can place this somewhere. I will place it. Almost wondering if I should have put this somewhere else. I don't know. I think this is fine. It's gonna build, gather back in there. Maybe I let 4 probably blight. I'm gonna put this up here. And when I added the presence, I think getting to 1 early is going to be important. I'm going to put this Quake token there. And because I have, again, the moon and the thing, I can defend 2 in a land where I have presence. I will just defend 2 in land 7. I'm about to lose this to Han, unfortunately, but that is what it is. And then I'm playing my other fast power, which is Carapace land. I'm defending 3 here. It's only ravaging 3, but it does have 4 health. So with those Dahan there, I will be able to wipe out the town there, which makes me pretty happy. So I have generated 0 fear so far, which is super awesome. We have our first event card of the day. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, coastal towns multiply. Add a town to a coastal land adjacent to a coastal town. Well, I don't love it, but you know, coast is pretty much guaranteed to go to crap. So I could add it in any coastal land because all of them are adjacent to another coastal land that has a town. But I do think it makes the most sense to land it in board 3. On each board, destroy 2 explorers among lands with Dahan. I have no explorers in my with Beast. I have no explorers in my land with the Beast. And then we have Coming of Age, add a Dahan to a land with Dahan that does not have Blight or Disease. And that's super nice because that will give me the opportunity to get another Blight in here, which does make me rather happy. Alrighty then, so that goes away. We do our invader steps. There is no high immigration build. We do our ravage. We're ravaging here. This Dahan is killed. We got our first blight of the game. They're ravaging here. They're ravaging 3. I'm defended 3 thanks to Carapaced land. We're Dahan are going to retaliate. They do 4 damage, which is just enough to kill the enhanced town and the 1 explorer. That gives us our first fear. We are going to go to the build step. We're building 2 towns. You get a town here and a town here. And we go to the explore step. We're exploring into montañas. That's mountains. Go 1 there and 1 there. Don't love that. Would have definitely preferred wetlands, even on board D. Oh, the irony. Everything moves over here. So I have generated no fear, which is making the idea of potentially having to do that double build there not good. So we'll see if I can get 4 fear between now and the invader steps next turn. So time's gonna pass. I'm putting this over here. We're gonna move these impending cards out of the way for now, underneath my ugly face, and we're gonna go back to growth. No, I think I just stay the course. Don't love that I didn't get on second fear because I didn't do anything to get me that fear. Let's see if I can get a fast power card that gives me another fear, because then I think my hand's going to be a bit forced. Interesting. So we're going to gain a minor power and add a presence. I'm going to get it from here. We have promises of protection. Gather up to 2 Dahan. Dahan have +2 health while in target land. We have Drift Down to the Slumber. Has an Earth. Defend 1 or defend 4 if it is a sands or a mountain. We have Boiling Bog and Snagging Thorn. 1 fear. Isolate. Defend 2. One Dahan does not participate in Ravage this turn. You have to target a land that's 1 away from a sacred site, so I don't love that. And then finally, we have Guardian Serpents. Add a beast to 1 of target spirit's lands. If target spirit has a sacred site there, defend 4. Oh boy. The isolation power can be really good. And it's one fear. I still think I'm going to be one fear short. And isolate. I could prevent some builds there. Still have a bunch of explorers I don't love. Yeah, the mountains are about to get hairy, which I don't love. All right, let me take the isolation power. There's a lot I can do with this card. Doesn't crush my elements, but I still think it's fairly good. So this card comes here. We are going to add this presence here to make a sacred site. And then I'm going to get one energy. We're adding an energy to this. That does not come into play yet. We add an energy to this. This does come into play. But it's not counting as my card plays this turn. I have 2 card plays plus an additional card play only for an impending card. I'm going to put this out here as one of my own. It could be either one. That's my pending card play. Now I have 2 more card plays that I can do anywhere. Neither one of these. No, that's still fine. If I play both of these, that's 3 fear. Oh, that's a fear too. If I have as many impendings as cards in play, so I only want to play one of these. So I think we're going to get that build, but that's still fine. I still have this ability I can do as well. I don't think there's any reason. This is a stage 2 card. Definitely want to play that. And for impending cards, I will play. Yeah, I'm just not going to get the fear. It's fine. I will play this. So I played 3 cards. I put 2 on the impending side of the ledger. And we added this. The question is, do I want to add any energy to gift of seismic energy? I don't think I do. We'll just kind of let that build up over the next couple of turns. We have a bunch of energy, which is nice. And I think we're in an interesting spot. So we are going to do an element check. We have 1, 2, 3 moon. We have 1 earth. We have 1 fire, 2 fire. So obviously if we had 2 more earth, we're triggering a bunch of stuff here, but we just don't. Actually, we're not triggering that much because we don't have 3 card plays in play, so that's fine. We are going to isolate 4, generate a fear off the top, and we're defending 2 inland 4. It's only ravaging 3, so that should be enough to prevent a blight there. That's done. 1 Dahan there doesn't participate in Ravage. Well, there's no Dahan there, so joke's on you. Oh, do I want to gather a Dahan? No, I'm just not going to use this ability this turn. It's really no. I could gather a Dahan out of here. That probably makes some sense because these Dahan might be a little bit useless for a minute. Now we have Rumblings Portending. So this is no longer impending. It's now in play. If you have at least as many impending power cards as cards in play, we get 1 fear. We can add a Quake, and we could push up to 3 Dahan. Yeah, we're about to have some problems in the jungle for sure. So I do want to start adding Quake tokens there, so I'm going to put this there. And because that's about to start building a lot. All right, that will work. Push up to 3 Dahan. There are no Dahan there, so that's fine. So I've done my cards in play. Those are all impending. I've done my fast power. Nope, did I? I did not do my fast. I did not do Land Creek's Retention. So in one of my lands, I could defend based on how many impending cards I have. I have 3 impending cards. This was from last turn. So I'm actually defending 3 there this turn, which is perfect. And I can add another Quake token into one of my lands. I will add it here. So Land Creek's Retention is fine, and I do not have Earth Shudders. So I've done all my fast powers. We're going to go to Blighted Island effect. There is none. We're going to look at the event. What's going on? We have stage 1, Wave of Recognizance. We are in stage 2. Stage 2, Urbanization. In each land with at least 2 towns. Replace half of the towns with cities. We have no lands that have 2 towns. Stricken, invaders do not ravage in lands with disease or strife. That doesn't apply. And then retreat on each board. Push 2 Dahan from a land with cities to a land without a city. That's actually not terrible. I could push these 2 to here because that will help me deal with what's about to happen in the mountains. We still don't have a fear card. So we're going to go build. High immigration step. This is going to trigger twice. There's only 1 town that's adjacent to that. Remember, the isolate token prevents that adjacency. So high immigration, that's not going to build. However, this is going to build twice. So we're going to go from a explorer, a town, and a city to 2 explorers, 2 cities. I'm sorry, 1 explorer, 2 cities, and 2 towns. So now we have 4 of the 7. So we definitely have to start keeping our eye on that. We're ravaging in sands. We're ravaging 3. We're defended 2. That defense can come off. No harm, no foul. They're ravaging 3. We're defended 3. And they're going to retaliate. We're going to wipe out that town. We get another fear. We're going to the build step. So we've not been able to move these pesky little explorers. 1 and 2. And now we go to the explore step. Mountains again. So build in the land that has the most cities or towns. That is definitely land 2. So that's up to 5. And now we're going to explore. We add an explorer here and an explorer here. We're going to advance the invader cards. We're about to ravage in mountains, but that's fine. We need to add a presence in 5. Wonder if I go here to move a presence. So I probably want a presence in 5 and a presence in 8. That's going to mess up my bottom track mojo. But I think that's fine. I have no slow powers, so this is going to come down. These go to my discard. We go to time passes. This isolate token comes off. This comes off. Everything else is fine. If I can get a defend 3 and land 8, but I've already seen a lot of the good defend powers. I do think I gain another power card. I'm probably reclaiming next turn. So the question is, am I doing Earth or am I doing Move a Presence? Because Move a Presence, I'll be able to actually deal with a lot of what's going on this board. I'm going to have a fear card, so that's only going to build once. But ideally, I can prevent it from building at all. So I am going to get another minor power. Again, we're just blitzing B like crazy. We for what is lost. 1 fear per type of invader present. Push up to 1 explorer or town per blight. Savage Mob Beast. 1 away from a sacred site. If target land is a jungle or a wetland, 1 fear and 1 damage. If you have 3 beasts, 1 damage. Enticing Splendor, gather 1 explorer a town, gather up to 2 Dahan into a land that doesn't have blight. That I find intriguing. And favor of the star of the sun is starlit dark. Defend 4, push a blight 1 away from a sacred site. And if you have 2 moons, generate another fear. None of them have earth. Don't want to skip Ravage actions there because I want to kill them with that. But I do think that means I'm gonna have to go top track so I can move 2 presence this turn. But yeah, I wipe out everything from 8. Of course, 8 is still adjacent to 2 there, so even if it's wiped out, it's still gonna build 1. Don't think I can. That's an interesting idea too. If I can get this off, can I get 3 earth? That's gonna have an earth. That's gonna, oh, if I get 3 cards in play, I can do earth shutters, which I think would be pretty strong. So I don't even need that earth, I don't think, because that's coming into play, that's coming into play. Yeah, I'm gonna need to, again, that's, oh, we're at 5 already in land 2. That's worrisome. I don't want to be throwing presence over there. I need to start getting presence in 2. Alright, I'm gonna take the defend 4. It's too good. These go away. Reserve my right to change my mind. I'm getting 1 energy. I'm getting 1 energy on each of these cards. That means this impending card comes into play. This impending card comes into play. And then from these 3 cards, if we do an element check already, I have 2 moon, 2 fire, and 2 earth. If I play this card and just spend it to get it out, which I think makes sense, that gives me 3 earth. Which will allow me to add this presence here, and then do this ability to move this presence here. So that'd be my 1 card play. Now I have, I don't need this at all. This is a 0 cost card, so that has to go there. Huh. I'll be just shy of that. I'll be 1 earth shy of that. And none of these had an earth. I'm almost positive. Yep, not a single earth. One earth in that draw would have made a world of difference. But I think I need to play this defend 4. Yep, playing that. So I only have one card pending. Trying to think if I can avoid that. I just don't see a path. Do I need a sacred site for anything else? I need a sacred site for this. Yeah. I need a sacred site for you. Yeah, it's fine. I could min-max this all day. I don't think I'm going to see much better. So these cards are no longer impending because they got the cost on them. I have one energy left, which is fine. We ended up doing something I don't normally love doing, but that's also fine. We are going to use this ability to gather a Dahan into one of my lands. I'm going to gather this Dahan here. Because why not? And I'm going to generate a lot of here. So let's start doing an element check final. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moon, which is insane. 1, 2, 3 earth, so close to 4, but not quite. I had to move a presence. So 3 earth, and then 1, 2, 3 fire. That gives me and I have 5 cards in play. So I have the first level of Earth Shudders and Buildings Fall, and I have all 4 levels of the Land Creeks with tension. I'm going to. I already did this. I keep using these to cover the wrong things, but so. Oh wait. I'm cheating. One of my card plays has to go for an impending only. I will put this in pending with no energy on it and save that 3 energy. My elements are still not fine. Oh. That's not good. I really want that. How about this? If I add a presence here and move this presence here, I put this in pending. I pay for this. Gives me 1 energy left. That makes my elements work, and I think I still have the defend I need. Close. I'm going to have a couple of fear cards. Oh, I'm loaded up. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need this right now. I'll save that for later. And the fact that it costs is good. So yeah, so one of my card plays has to be for impending. So I put these 2 card plays in for cost me 2. That goes pending, and then 2 of my pending cards are now active card plays. So I'm playing 4 cards this turn. I have 1, 2, 3 fire. I have 1, 2, 3 earth, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 moon. I was cheating. Now I'm not. I feel good to come clean. All right, so I can add 2 Quake tokens on the board and defend 3 separately in 2 different places. So where I have presence. So I'm going to defend 3 there. I'm going to defend 3 there. They're both ravaging 4. I'm going to add a Quake token to 2 of my lands. I'm going to add 1 here. And I'm going to add one here. Debating whether I want to actually skip Ravage actions. I don't think it makes sense. I could skip a Ravage action in one place. But to wipe everything out of one. Yeah, I'm gonna risk that I'm hopefully nothing enhances how much damage is being done here. So I'm going to Terra level 1. Sorry, woof. Land 1. I'm gonna have a presence there, so I'm gonna get 1 fear off the top. It gives me my first fear card of the game. I'm adding a Quake token, and invaders are skipping all Ravage actions there. They're not ravaging anyway, I know. Just bear with me. It just makes more sense to me to let the Ravage happen here and kill these 2 explorers than not. So, and if something does 1 damage, I mean, maybe I'll get lucky. I'm defended 3. I could only gather 1 Dahan in there, but maybe I can gather a second Dahan in there. I don't know. A lot of things that happen. I just don't think it makes sense for me to skip the Ravage there. So my original plan was to skip the Ravage there and defend 4 there with this card, and now I'm just like, oh, I have an innate. I'll just defend 3 in 2 different lands. Oh, I'm only defending 2. Never mind. Crap. No, wait. It's 1 per... It's 1 per impending card, so I only have 2 impending cards this turn. So this is actually, I'm going to defend 4 there. I'm going to do that twice there, and I am going to skip Ravage actions here, which does mean this Quake token goes here. Woo, we got there. My original plan was to play 5 cards, but that was cheating. So let me review. Now what am I doing? Final answer. So Land Creek's Retention, it gave me 2 abilities to defend 1 per impending card. I have 2 impending cards, so I loaded them both up here, so I'm defending 4 there. And here, I needed the presence there because of Resounding Footfalls Show Dismay, or Sow Dismay. That gave me 1 fear, let me add a Quake token, and they're just skipping the Ravage action altogether, which isn't great because it's going to build a city, but it's the best I can do right now. All right, so that's my final answer. Sorry, I eventually was going to get there. It just took me a second. That's a little annoying here. That's my only Sacred Site, but I needed the Sacred Site to get this fear, so I'm going to do Portents of Disaster. It's my final fast power. I'm getting 2 fear off the top. So I'm only going to have 1 fear card, which is good. Then I'll have another fear card next turn, which will help to prevent the double immigration build. And I'm going to be targeting a land, and if Invader is destroyed there this turn, it'll get another fear off the top. So I'll put a reminder token here, and I'll still target land 5 because why not? It's not ravaging, but maybe something will happen that'll get me lucky. All right, so we have these 2 cards that are still in play, these 2 cards over here that are impending, and we're good to go. And I do have the first level of Earth Shudder. Earth Shudders, Buildings Fall, and I thought I had the second for a second. Then I realized that I couldn't have 5 card plays because I had to put one of my card plays over here in impending. All right, let's go to, there's no Blighted Island effect. We're going to get our event card. Please don't screw me. Accumulated Devastation. This is a new event, I believe. Yes, it is. During the first successful Ravage action in 1 land, this invader phase increased the total damage ravaging invaders deal to each land, but not to Dahan by the current invader stage, stage 2. Do this at most 1 Ravage action per board for 1 Ravage action in 1 land. So essentially I'm ravaging 2 for the first successful. I think I have to do it there because this isn't ravaging, so I guess that wouldn't be successful. I don't understand successful. That's a weird. I'm assuming this is not successful because it's skipped. So the only ravage action just happened there. So that's now ravaging 6, which is a problem. Isolate a land with beasts. That, my friends, is super nice. Oh, it's not. That's not a. I do wish the beast tokens and the quake tokens were a different color. It's a little annoying. I'm not gonna lie, but we're gonna isolate this land because that's my only beast on the board. This quake token is a miniature quake token, and that's throwing me off. So let me get that out of there. Or maybe this one's just giant. I think that one's just giant. All right, we're good. So that's isolated. There is an invader there, so that's a fear. And then years of health and harmony on each board with 5 or more Dahan. My board has 6 Dahan. Added Dahan to the land with the most Dahan. That's fine. So worst case scenario, I get a blight there, I lose a presence, but I'll have enough Dahan there to kill everything off. Woof. So that's done. 1 fear card. On each board in a land matching a Ravage card. Distracted by local troubles. On each board in a land matching a Ravage card, 1 damage. This is matching a Ravage card. Let me prevent that from doing a blight. That's super nice. So that Explorer is dead. Perfect fear card for me. We are now building. We're building only once because we did do a fear card. So we're going to get a city here and a town here. So again, I was not able to negate as many adjacencies as last game. So again, we're probably looking at a fear victory at best here. So high immigration build is done. We're ravaging here. We're skipping the ravage action. We're ravaging here. It's a successful ravage, I believe. So that's going to be 5 damage that injures the Dahan. They fight back. They kill both of these. That's a fear. We build. We are still adjacent to 2 here. So that's going to build a town. We're going to build a city here. We're going to explore. It's jungle, so tension is high. We have to build in land 2. That's looking sketch. And we explore into land 2 and to land 6. Invader cards advance. That build ravage is rough because we got the way the adjacencies are and stuff. We got some problems, but I think we'll be okay. Move that town over. For Diametamorphosis and just getting a light on the board, it's like so nice sometimes. Or Badlands on the board. Badlands versus England 6 is so nice. Just like, it just helps the math a lot. Should be able to defend 8. I have an isolate power. I mean, again, the real concern right now is 2. I don't have presence in 2 yet. Normally gain a major. Wolf. Speaking. When I reclaim, but I'm gonna probably have to add a presence there. Although I have that move a presence ability. So I can get a presence out of 5. This can come off. So I have 3 powers. I think I wipe everything out of 1. as my first step. Then I got to figure out what the heck I'm doing about two, because I can't really do, a lot of my push powers are all slow, and if I build, so jungle build, and then we have this explore build, and if this isn't the wetlands card, I have 2 builds to contend with in land 2, and we already have 6 buildings, so I'm gonna have to get rid of 2 of those towns somehow. I won't really have a lot of energy. Defending 4. Oh, that's rabbiting 5, 6, 7. Wish I could get a presence in 2. All right, I'm going to do 2 damage in 5, killing these 2 explorers, and pushing these quake tokens. I'm pushing 1 here and 1 to here. Then I'm doing earth shudders, and this can come off. Oh, and I destroyed an invader there because of Portents of Disaster, so that's another fear. That's a fear card, so we don't have to worry about the double high immigration build next turn. I'm going to do 2 damage per Quake token in land 1. I have to do it right at presence, otherwise I would obviously do it in 2. This is 7 health of invaders. So that's out, that's out, that's 3 fear. It would have been nice if I got to the 2nd level of that, but it also would have kind of made me have to have like a refresh turn. It was like a lightning, like kind of regather, and you really don't have that luxury against England. And then I have exaltation. I'm going to health ravage. Defend 4. Try to think what is that builds a city there. It's still 7 health. I think I move that out of there. So I can do that twice effectively, right? I wonder if I could push it in and then do it again, but it says do likewise. So I think you have to evaluate at the beginning of that action. That's like that's like a weird. It's like a weird nuance where you can, if it says you may do likewise, you can actually do it twice. But if it says if you target someone else, like you can only do it once. Like it's a weird. I don't think I'm preventing this build, right? Really need to get this earth off. England's so annoying. All right. I'm going to push this presence and this here. And then I'm going to I need to get presence in here. So I'm going to push this presence and leave that town there. Do I want a Dahan in there? Not really. Yeah, we'll do that. I'll just shift that presence and I'll shift that presence. We'll get the town out of 8. So when that builds, if this builds twice, I should be able to defend it pretty well. Then the question is, am I adding a presence, which I think I am, instead of getting a major, although the right major could be pretty sick right now. I'll still be able to shift the presence if I need to. All right, so I did this twice. Again, the target spirit did it once, which was me, and then I did it once, which was me again. That goes away. Checking the chat. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but you forgot to lose a presence at 8. Did I miss something? Why are there 5 tokens in a fear pool? England at this level adds a fear token to the pool. It's either 5 or 6. Thanks. Looks like England 6. England is brutal. Yeah, they did 5 damage at 8. I was offended 4, dude. So I don't know why I would lose a presence. They were gonna do 6 damage, but then I killed the explorer. So, unless someone else is agreeing with Steve, yeah, I don't lose a presence in 8. So, all right, let's we have to reclaim cards. So we're doing growth option A. Impending cards just stay in play because fun. I think I have to gain a major and just assume that something helpful is going to happen to me in 2. I'm gaining a major without losing anything. That could be helpful. If I can get 3 earth, that's really helpful. Thickets erupt with every touch of breeze, 2 damage, and either add a wilds or remove a blight, or add 3 wilds, remove a blight. And then if you have 3 earth, +1 fear, +2 damage. Tigers hunting, 2 fear, add a beast, gather a beast. 1 damage for beast, push 2 beasts. If you have 2, 2, 3, 1 damage in adjacent land. Without blight, +1 damage for beast there. We have fire and flood. That's going to be way too expensive. And then we have trees speak of stone and war, which I really like, but it's not going to be super helpful. 2 damage. Can I get 3 earth? I'm going to get 1 earth from there. Do I have a free cost earth power? I do. All right. Oh, my math was wrong. It happens, Steve. It happens. All right. This is going to go. I have to take this. I don't have to forget a power. We're gaining energy. I'm gaining a 3rd energy here. And then 1 energy here. That does not come into play. 1 energy here. This does come into play. I have 3 card plays. 1 has to be for impending. I can still move a presence. I can still gather a Dahan. I'm definitely gathering a Dahan into here. This heals. Putting you in impending makes a lot of sense. I have to play you, so I have 1 more card play, which could go impending or none. But I need another earth, so that's going to solve that issue. Or another plant. I need another plant. Defending. I only have 1 earth again. Jesus. I need another plant. One fear, isolate, defend 2. I don't have a single earth. So a carapace land is nice because it at least gets me out a token. Plus will give me some defend. But I can't isolate. But I think I have to make this math work. I'm going to move this presence here with this ability. Carapace land is going to give me defend 3 there. So we're going right at the fast powers. Let me do an element check. I don't have 2 sun, which is fine. So I'm not getting that kicker. This can go away. This is now pending. So I played 2 cards. I'm having impending in 1. This is coming in next turn. You really wanted that sweet spot where you have 3 cards in play, 3 in impending. It's going to be hard to do until I get the next 2 presents off. So moving the presents has been important, but definitely not ideal. Removing a blight could be fun. Problem here I'm still going to need to get lucky. Because I'm going to be able to get rid of 1 invader. But I'm going to need something else to let me push a town out of there. I'm going to lose because of England's additional loss condition. So wilds aren't going to help me. All right, we're going to make this happen. So element check. We have 1, 2 moon, 0 fire, and 1 earth. This is fine. Gives me the first and second level of land creeks retention. It gives me no levels of earth shudders. It's going to let me add a quake token. And I can defend 2 in land, in the land with presence. I'm going to defend 2 here. I'm 1 away from a sacred site there. I'm going to defend 4 more there and push up to 1 blight. So we're defended 6 total, 2 different powers. So I'll keep 2 dice there, and I'll push this blight. I don't know, somewhere with quake tokens. Why not? And then Thickets Erupt, I do 2 damage, and since I have 3 earth, so I'll get an earth tracker out. It's an earth tracker. I can do 4 damage and a fear off the top. So I'm going to do a fear off the top. I'm doing 4 damage. This beast has never moved. It's a very dutiful beast. It's going to, if I destroy a city, it's just going to build a city. But it is 2 fear. But I can do 4 damage. Just try to get rid of some of these explorers. Just kind of change the math a little bit. Alright, so I'm killing a town. Did I do the fear off the top yet? I don't remember. I think so. I think I did. Someone could tell me if I didn't. I'm pretty sure I did. So 4 damage, and I get the 1 fear for killing the town. If I cheated myself a fear, someone let me know. And then I can remove a blight or add 3 wilds. I will remove a blight. Back onto here. Thought the event added 2 to the land. You did the fear first text. You did the fear of, yeah. The event did add 2 to the land, so you were right there. but that made it 6, and then I killed an explorer. That made it 5, and then it was 5 against 4. So you were definitely right about the +2. All right. We are, because it was just a town and 2 explorers, and then it was just a town and an explorer. We are Fox Sports. That's a second fear card. It's going to put me in a little precarious position next turn where I don't want to have a double build in high immigration. But the 2 fear cards here will help my chances of getting rid of those. It's obviously my only risk of losing to the additional loss condition is right there. So we'll need to get a little lucky with that. All right. No energy. No slow powers. That's a good place to be. We're going to go to Blooded Land Effect. There is none. Event card. And bam. The next Explorer card matches all lands without... Oh, buddy. All right, that's fine. The next Explorer card matches all lands without towns or cities, which isn't many. And we ignore the stage 2 escalation on it. So even if it's not wetlands, watch this is going to be wetlands now. But yeah, that's actually a really nice event for us. So I'm going to put this as a reminder token here. Choose a land that has disease. Nope, no disease. Tell the old stories. Each spirit with at least 2 Dahan among its lands either reclaims a power card or regains a unique power previously forgot. None of those apply, so, you know, card's really good at the top and then ends with a big fart on the end. So, let's make this happen. We have Flee the Pestilent Land. Each player removes an explorer or town from a land with beast. Woof. And then explorers are reluctant, or the next normal explorer skip the lowest numbered land, matching the invader card on each board. And that's going to kind of work with Fortune Seekers. So we're going to need to kind of evaluate that as we go. But we might actually not be adding anything on the board during the explore step. So fear cards both whiffed. We're going to build in a high immigration build. So we're going to get a town here. We get a town here. We're going to ravage. We're ravaging 2. I'm defended 3. We kill this town. That's a fear. They're ravaging 7. I'm defended 6. That injures a Dahan. They retaliate. I'm going to kill the city here for 2 fear. We do a build. We get a town here. We're back to 6 structures on land 2. We pull this. Is it... Well, it is coastal land, so didn't have to worry about that. But it matches all lands without cities and towns. So it doesn't match 1, it doesn't match 2, it doesn't match 3, it doesn't match 4, it doesn't match 5, it doesn't match 6, it doesn't match 7. It would match 8. Instead, because explorers are reluctant, it skips that, and nothing happens with the explorer. I'm pretty sure I carried that out correctly, but someone can let me know if you feel otherwise. Now, the fact that coastal lands came out now is a little annoying because we know for a fact we are looking at a build on jungles at the next explore, and that can be game ending for us if I don't find another way to deal with the large amount of plastic in land 2. Now, the next fear card we get is going to get us in Terra level 2. And obviously I want to do that in the fast power phase so I can ignore the high immigration, but we got some problems. This comes out, this comes over, this is done, and these go into the discard pile. I think I have to do... If I get some Dahan in there and defend the hell out of it. That could be good. I should be able to kick off that. Just the Han are so far away. Man. I don't think speeding anything up over there makes sense. Getting a major makes 0 sense. So minor power it is. Purifying Flame, 1 damage for Blight, non-starter. Elusive Ambushes, 1 damage or defend 4 in a land with Dahan. Sunset's Fire flows across the land. That costs 1. And this is 0. Push 1 explorer or town to an adjacent coastal land, or move up to 2 Dahan between target land and 1 other coastal land. And if you have 2, you may do both. I dig that. Getting a town out of 2 could be rather helpful, because it's about to build and then build again. So again, I'm in a place where I need to move some stuff. And it has an earth. And it's a free power. What else could I ask for? This is coming off. So yeah, we're going to have 3 card plays next turn. Again, having to have the move presence was kind of unfortunate, but it's obviously paid off in my ability to defend, but it's been limiting me in getting my card plays out, because it just delayed me 1 in dealing with the bottom track. So that goes there. This gets an energy. That's going to be a huge boon for me, because that's going to be 3 energy my way. And this gets an energy. So that's impending. It's the only impending card. Isolate defend 2, blah, blah, blah. Importance of disasters, 2 free fear. I only have essentially 2 card plays here, 1 here, or I could do 1 and 2. But that seems really dangerous. Ooh. Ooh. Defense 6. It's ravaging 7 million. I think I have to play this one. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to avoid a... Don't think I'm going to be able to avoid a England additional loss condition, unfortunately. I need to get 2 fear. That'll give me a fear card. We'll have the first level of Earth Shudders again. And I can put this card over here. Yeah, I could do 6 damage there this turn. I just think it's going to be too late. Unless the event just Mondo helps me out. That's going to be impending. This is no longer impending. I have 3 cards in play. We'll do an element check. I have 2 impending cards. We have 1, 2 moon, 1, 2 fire, 1, 2, 3 earth. 3 cards in play. So I do have the first level of this. And I have the first 1, 2. I have all 3 levels of this, which is interesting. And I didn't put this on the... I still haven't lost the presence. Woof. That's funny. I do not have 2 water, so that's not going to help me. So I'm going to do this with that presence, 1 away. I can Do strong and constant current. I'm pushing a town to an adjacent coastal land. Portents of disaster. I'm generating 2 fear. Fear card. Terror level 2. And then we'll have this effect here. First time something's destroyed in land 6, I get another fear. I can add Quake tokens to 2 of my lands. I will add a Quake token here and here. And I could defend 2 twice in either the same land or 2 different lands. I will defend a total of 4 here. So that's done. And this just, if I target myself, which I did, 3 energy, which could be huge next turn. But I have a feeling next turn it's not going to be a thing. We still haven't used this, so I'm going to gather this Dahan into here. Need at least 2 to kill a town, and then I could move a presence. Oh, that should have been in the spirit phase. And I wanted to add that there. Yeah, I'll move this presence from here to here. So I did those things. All right, all my fast powers are done again. Those 2 things should have been done during the growth phase. I did it in the fast power phase. It is what it is. What's up, Philip? I came for your thoughts on the Mage Knight announcement and got exactly what I expected. I try to be predictable. I'm hopeful. It's funny that Sajid reached out to me and Madi and a couple of people on Twitter and some friends. Like, yeah, dude, it's it's like, nah, we'll see. But good to see you, Philip. All right, let's make this happen, man. I'm scared. Yeah. I mean, I'm sacrificing this presence. I really don't care. Oh. I do care. I do care. I need a presence there. Let me move a second presence in there so when I lose 1, I can still do Earth Shudders. Buildings fall. Yeesh. Yeesh and yeesh. Alright. Event! Remove. Give me the distant war people. No! Temporary truce. In lands with the Han. Nope. Yep, we're terror level 2. During the Ravage step, skip 1 Ravage in a land where Dahan outnumber cities and towns. That's also terrible. That's really bad. That's super annoying. But I had that portents. That's going to cost me 2 fear. Oh, that's huge. That's a pain in the ass. That's really bad. Really bad. All right. Preparing the heat. This niche land with beast. Destroy 1 damage per beast. So I just do 1 damage. Speak of the spirits, and that guy's 2 health left. Remember, England. Speak of the spirits' anger. For each board, 1 fear of any Dahan are in lands with cities and towns. Yes. I'll keep this out as a reminder of the Ravage step. I am carrying out a fear card. Unrest. Each player adds a strife to a town for the rest of this turn if it is a -1 health per strife. So I can add a strife here, which is interesting, and then that guy still has 1 health. What's... Man. I will add this strife here. Because I can. Alright, that's... fine. Building. Building a city. Building a town. I could have, I mean, if I didn't have to worry about this additional loss condition, I could have moved that town out of there to, there wouldn't have been 2 left next to 8. But obviously that's not a good game theory. Oh, I'm going to lose. Yeah, this game's over. That Yeah, I wasn't able to get what I needed. That fear card was not the answer. Build, ravaging. This isn't ravaging. This goes away. That's a blight. I'm still healthy island, but then build, and then wetlands build, and that's 7 towns and cities in land 2. Woof. Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, just wasn't able to. I'm a round behind. Because if I can survive this round, if I somehow didn't have to worry about the 7 there, I'm about to do 8 damage in that land. And so obviously I wipe out 2 cities. It gives me a bunch of fear. I don't have to really worry about the, you know, the the double high immigration build. I mean, I'm still healthy. I mean, this is crazy. Where I'm way still healthy. I'm gonna have 3 card plays a turn. So that engine's really coming together. You see the strength. I mean, I literally have 2 blight left on the card, not even close to flipped over, and I lose because of additional loss. It's like, oh, it's so gross, dude. But I mean, that's England, right? That's an England game. But I think that how strong this spirit is, and once you get that engine going and the different options you have, like if I ever really it's like, oh, I really need these cards, I could have, again, I do growth option C, but I kept wanting to load myself up with more cards because I'm trying to bottom track this and get to here, right? 3 card plays, 4 card plays, and that's 3 card plays plus the 1 for the impending, right? So I could do 2 and 2 every turn. I could always be defending 3 and 2 of my lands and either hitting the first and second level of this every turn. I mean, eventually you're just gonna really do the fear generation. I don't think I was able to negate enough adjacencies early in this game to get a Terror level 2 victory. I probably was gonna have to do a fear victory. But I think the biggest difference, like honestly, I got so lucky with that last event that if the cards had been switched where wetlands came out last turn and this was now coastal lands, I like that game. Like and honestly, I could play it out from here just out of curiosity. Like I am morbidly curious, but like, oh, it seems like work. Because remember, it didn't matter whether it was wetlands or coastal land. I was ignoring the symbol, and it ended up not matching any land except for one, and I was skipping that land based on the fear card. So if you play it out here, where now it's coastal lands, because I didn't add anything to the board last turn. Well, now it would be building, right? So you'd build a city here, you'd build a town here. Oh, you build a city there, you build a city here. And then you would explore, explore, explore. And we only have 5 things there. This advances, this comes over. And then in the slow power phase, you're like, I mean, I could do 8 damage. Gross. Now you don't have to worry about the stage 2 escalation anymore. I am building here and building here, so I still have to do this damage here. So I can do 8 damage here. Kill 2 cities, get 4 fear. This comes down. And all of a sudden I think we have a pretty interesting puzzle the rest of the way out. We just weren't able to get over the hump. I just wasn't able to go over the hump the way I played it, where I was just kind of got stuck, where I just knew that land 2 was creeping up. It was looming large as un problemo. Skip all ravage actions. Now you got the problem. I mean, now you have the interesting the land, like the land D problem, where you got both wetlands that are looking pretty terrible. I mean, obviously, if that was now what now, yeah, because I pushed that blight out of there a while ago. Pushing that blight out of 4 was probably stupid. Because what was the point? Pushed up to 1 blight. I could have just left the blight there because it's the safest place for it to be, especially in stage 2. Yeah, I don't think these cards were gonna get me across. Push a blight. There are Dahan. If there are no Dahan, remove a blight. Oop, that's a fear card. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I'm definitely triggering this. I'm probably... And that doesn't even need presence. That's so sick. The second level, this is nuts, where it's like in any number of lands that have quakes, 2 damage per quake to cities and towns only. You're like, woof. That's so good. Yeah. Tarland has peace. Tarland has disease. I wonder how I survived this. Get the 1 energy here. These come off. I want impending cards. One energy that stays, 1 energy that stays. And then I have, this would go on the board. I can put this here. I can move this presence out. That. Isolate the fend. Pay for this. Put this here. And play that. Oh, and then I still have a 3rd card play. That's crazy. Yeah, I still have a 3rd card play, so I can put this here. These are both pending now. Right? Because I had 3 card plays plus 1. Oh, no. I put too many down. I had 5 cards in my hand. So I couldn't put both of those. So I had 3 card plays plus 1. So I did all 3 card plays here. And then I added 1 over there. And that's where your engine like really starts going. Because now I'm like, I can, if I have at least as many power cards, impending cards as power cards, I can get a fear, add a thing, push these 3 here. I have the elements where I could defend 6 here, and I can add 2 quake tokens. I can quake there, quake there. Don't know where I'd want to isolate. That wouldn't do me much good. One fear doesn't matter. I mean, I could isolate anywhere. It's not going to really make a difference. Just isolate there for no reason. So at that point, I'm going. No, I'm not even going Blighted Island yet. That's freaking crazy. And then I would have this. I mean, as long as like you hit this on 8 every turn, like you're eventually gonna do enough fear that you're gonna win the game. But we get to Blood Island effect, event, stage 2, stage 3. On each board, choose a line with towns and cities. Add a blight without cascading. Players may destroy 2 presents for Dahan in the land to prevent adding blight. This comes off. Nope. I will add one. I will just destroy one presence and one Dahan. I think I was supposed to add a presence too, right? Or did something destroy my presence? Oh yeah, presence got destroyed there. Destroy 2 explorers among lands with beasts. I only have the 1 beast. Coordinated strikes in each land with 3 or more Dahan, 2 damage, and defend 2. That's perfect. So 2 damage. This now has 3 health left as a city. I'm defending 2 more, so I'm defending 8. Fear card. Explore does not affect coastal lands. Lands with disease are not a source of invaders when exploring. We're building here. That's a city. Building here. That's a city. Ah, this looks like an England game. Ravaging. We're blighting here. We're ravaging here. I've defended 1,000,000. They're retaliated against and both dead. That's 3 fear. Fear card. Explore step. Explore does not affect coastal lands, but sands gets an explorer. That's isolated. Wetlands doesn't get an explorer because it's a coastal land. Wetlands doesn't get an explorer because it's coastal lands. Invader cards advance. And then I'm going to do 10 damage here. There's 2 towns and a city are out. That's 4 fear. That's done. I can push a town and gather 1 explorer. It's gonna build there first. Of course it is. Gather a Dahan, push a town, gather a Dahan. I will push this town and not gather the Dahan. Bam. I still haven't gotten the 5 card plays out. Yeah, that's that. Having to move that presence was really bad. It's really set me back. I'm gonna have to reclaim cards. Question is, do I go for a major or do I just add a presence? I think I add the presence. I'm gonna get 1 energy. Energy here, this card's in play. Energy here, this card's in play. Energy here, this card's in play. So now we have no impending cards. Gain the 1 energy. I'm gonna add the presence within 2 of where I have presence. I will add it here. Try to prevent any Blake Cascades. See if I can stay healthy. We have 4 card plays plus 1 in impending. I can still move a presence. I could move a Dahan. I will gather this Dahan here. This isolate comes off. I think if 4 card plays, so if I put 2 cards here and 3 there, that makes the most sense. So One there. Put this here with 2 energy on it, so it triggers next turn. Put this here with no energy on it. This here with 2 energy on it. I'll do this here. Cool. So again, I played 2 cards to regular, and I played 2 to pending. I put 2 energy on 2 of the 3 cards I put in impending. All 3 of those cards are going to trigger next turn, so I'm basically calling my shot next turn. So 1, 2, 3. Actually playing just so people get a better sense of how the spirit plays, just because it ended so prematurely with the additional loss. This Dahan died, I guess. I don't know. Why is he here? Sure, he went away. We gathered at the Han there. I'm going to do strong and constant currents. I can move up to 2 Dahan from 1 land and 1 other coastal land, or push a town from one coastal land to another. I'll just push this there. I'm going to defend 6 here. I'm going to defend 6 here. No, I'm going to defend 6 here. I'm going to defend 6 here with Land Creeks Retention. I'm going to do 1 fear. It's a 2nd fear card. I'm adding a Quake. We're skipping Ravage actions in land 3. It's still going to build a lot. Woof. It's fine. And then those 2 are slow. These impending cards are no longer impending, so I can take these off. The 1 defense 6 was from Carapace land. The other defense 6 was from here. I can still add 2 Quake tokens to my lands from that. I'm going to add 1 here and 1 here. Let's get Quake tokens everywhere. We have 5 cards in play. Oh, the joy. 1 here. Do I want 1 there? Probably not. I'll just add 2 in this land. That makes the most sense. Yeah, now the coast is just loaded with Quake tokens. It's California. I can move a presence. Don't think I want to. Target land has these. I'll move this presence here just to get it a little more central. Give me some more options. And again, element check. Elements in play. We have 1, 2, 3 air. We have 1, 2, 3 fire. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 earth. We have 2 water. No Blighted Island effect. Event card. Bureaucrats are just funding. Nope. Yep. On each board with 9 or more cities and towns. Build cards skip the highest number of land matching. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, definitely 9 or more. So we're skipping the highest number of matching land on the build card. I don't think that affects the high immigration tile. I think it's just the normal build. All right, so the highest number of matching land would be 7. is going to be skipped. So I'll put a reminder on the build card. Terrifying beast, 2 fear-proof lands with 2 or more beasts. I only have 1. That's sad. Coordinated defense when the invaders ravage. The land has both the Han and defense. Defend 5. We are more than well defended. Terror level 2. Each player removes an explorer, a town from a land with 2 or fewer invaders. I'll remove a town from here. That's isolation. Last one is defense 6 on all coastal lands. Skip all build actions in coastal lands that would add a city. So this is still a build action. This build card doesn't say build actions, it says build cards. That's a build card. It's also a build cards. I don't know. That's a question. What is it? Quirky. Bureaucrats adjust funding. Oh, why does it not assume that I'm going to wonder about England and bureaucrats adjust funding? That's crazy. Like, Quirky's so funny and then anticipates so many questions, except for the questions I have. Like, the number, like, I don't think it's ever been, like, a huge hit for me on the channel where I'm like, exactly what I was hoping it would answer. Oh, come on, man. I accidentally hit Kingdom of France because I fat fingered Kingdom of England. I don't build cards. That is a, I still think that's a build action. Yeah, I'm really surprised this isn't spelled out. This is some old, these are all older cards. High immigration. Build cards. Build step. What if we stopped doing quirky? Bureaucrats adjust funding and high immigration tile. Spirit Island. Bureaucrats adjust funding. It's my last try. Tile. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea. Build cards. I'm assuming that's build cards, not migration cards. Skip all build, but it is a build action though. Build action is anything where it's capital. So I'm playing that. That's a build action, but it's not a build card. Is how I am going to play this. And if someone has a better idea, let me know. All right. So skipping all build. Defended 6. These guys are dead. Oh wait, high immigration build first. So I'm skipping all build actions. Unless I would add a city. This would definitely add a city, so I'm skipping that. This adds a town, so I'm going to allow it to add a town. We're ravaging. I only have 1 wolf. This has 2 damage to it. Has 1 health left. Oh, wow. That's unfortunate. Was this move up to? That was move up to. I could have left. I could have just moved the 1, which would have made more sense. So that ravages 6. Dead. Fear. Ravaging here. Defended 6. Defending, fighting by 4. Killing the city. 2 fear. Skipping ravage actions there. Building. We're building a town here. Sands first. We're skipping 7 because of the event. And this would add a town. Oh, it would skip a. It's skipping the. Whatever. It would have made more sense anyway. It would have added a city had the town lived there. So now it adds a town. And then it would add a city here. So we're skipping that. That is still a build action as far as I'm concerned. But happy to be told I'm wrong later. All right, we do have, again, this. This is where Dancey Boi gets crazy. We're going to do, I'm going to target. Well, then we have to explore. We're exploring jungles and sands. We get another explorer here, explorer here, explorer here, and an explorer here. This reminder token comes off. Cards advance. We're not close to 7 anywhere. So, I am going to do 2 damage in a land with. Oh, yeah. That works. I'm going to do 2 damage here. So, remainder 1. And then I can push any number of wilds or any one of Quake tokens as long as I push them adjacently even. So, we're going to push. I have 4 there, 5 there. I'm going to push 1 here. Oh, wait. No, that's dumb. Again, I'm doing Radiating Tremors. I'm going to do 2 damage, kill these 2 explorers, and then push these 4 Quake tokens as evenly as possible. We're adjacent to 4 lands because there's adjacencies everywhere. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to leave the last one. No, I'll push the last one here. All right, so that's done. Invested aquifers. I'm going to add a. I'm going to target a wetland. Targeting here. I'm going to get a fear and add a disease. And then we're going to do Earth Shudder. So I'm going to target a land that has Quake tokens. I'm going to do 10 damage here. So I've killed everything there. It's 4 fear. Remainder 3. Fear card. And then I'm going to get 1 fear at the top. And then any number of lands with Quake tokens, I'm going to do 2 damage per Quake token to cities and towns only. So I'm going to kill this city. 2 fear. Remainder 1. Fear card. Terror level 3. We're going to remove a Quake token from there. We're going to do a bunch of damage here. Kill that town. Fear. Remove a Quake token. I'm going to do damage here. Kill this Explorer. Remove a... No, there's no point in that. I guess there's no point in doing it anywhere else. I just did it in those 2 places. Nowhere else can I actually kill a town or a city. And there's too many adjacencies to worry about. So I just did it in those 2 lands. I removed 2 Quake tokens. And that's fine. So time passes. I had 5 cards to play that turn. We did skip those Ravage actions. Again, sorry about the action build. That got a little confusing. I think we did it right. But these 5 cards go away. We are going to pick a growth option. I'm going to pick growth option 2 again. I'm going to add a presence. We're going to get 2 energy from the presence track. I'll go for a minor. We got a major. Tempted to get a major, but oh, only 4 cards, Greg. Excellent, a 0 cost card with a mountain. I add this presence somewhere, 1 away. Do I need a... I do need a sacred site, so I'll add this here. Sands and wetlands are ravaging. And I think and coastal lands are building, so we're going to want to deal with that. I could isolate 3. I could defend 1. I could defend 7. And I could defend 4, so it's fine. I got the 2 energy from there. I'm going to add an energy here, so now this comes into play. We get an energy here, so this comes into play. I added 2 to both of those last turn. And I add an energy here, so this comes into play. So no impending cards right now, but I'm adding 4 cards and +1 impending card. So I probably want to get 5 cards to play again, right? Element-wise, if I can get 3 Earth, that'll be good. So that's a free Earth. That's a free Earth. And oh, I can't even. I guess I don't even want free cards anymore. Hold on. Yeah, well, give me this and get rid of this. So I want a pending, 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 and 1 more card in. I'll play that card. All right, we have element check. We do have 3 plants. We actually have 4. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 moon. I have 1, 2. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3 fire. And 1, 2. Uh-oh. 1, 2. I want 4. Those were all in pending. So I'll just have 2 impending. And I'll play this one. So that's a billion moon, 1, 2. You could get 7 cards in play. So easy. It's pretty sick. 1, 2. I have to. Nope. That should go there. This needs $1. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 Earth, which is what I need. I also have 2 Sun. And Portents of Disaster. All right. So this is a 3. That's interesting. Oh, it has a disease token too. Oh, that's good. We don't have. We do. So I'm going to generate 1 fear. And isolate here. We have this. My Quake tokens are all out of whack. I'm going to do 4 damage here. Kills this town and an explorer. That's a fear. Adds 3 wilds. This gives me 3 energy. Oh, that's another fear off the top. This card gives me 3 energy, so I'll take that. Favor of Sun and Star of the Dark gives me a fear because I have 2 suns. I can defend 4 somewhere. I'll defend 4 here. This is not going to build now. That's not going to build because it's isolated. This would build. This can come off. So that's not. I only have to worry about these 2 lands for Ravage purposes. I have 2 Ken. I'm going to basically add 2 Quake tokens to among my lands, and then I can defend a total of 4 here because I have 2 cards that are impending. And then these Quake tokens I will add here because that seems reasonable. This is slow. This is slow. Those are both in play still. I have 6 cards in play because that makes sense. All right, those are my fast powers. Again, just kind of playing this pretty quick. We're going to get an event. Terror level 3. On each board, push a land. Choose a land with the Han and towns and cities. Invaders do 3 damage to the Han there, ignoring defend powers. Okay, buy 1 Dahan. That's fun. We're only like 2 towns. That's crazy. If we can get those 2 cities on the board, the game's over, but I don't think it's happening. Each beast does 2 damage. That sucks. On each board, choose a land with at least 2 Dahan and at least 2 towns or cities. Each Dahan destroys 1 town or city, so that doesn't apply. And then you have to add a blight. Reckless offensive. I love the flavor of that card. Doesn't normally hit though, which is probably part of the point. 3 fear cards, terror level 3. Each player adds a strife in a land with presence, and each invader with strife deals damage to other invaders in the land. That's awesome. I'll add a strife here and do 3 damage from that city. So that's another fear. That's the only strife I have on the board. In each land with the Han, remove 2 explorers from 1 town. If at least 2 Dahan are present, also remove a city. Woof. I can do this, That's it. So again, doesn't hit me very hard. And then each player adds 1 strife to a different land in a different land with at least 2 invaders. Then each invader with strife deals damage to other invaders on the land. So we went from theological strife to tall tales of savagery to some discord. So I will add this strife here and wipe out this town. That's a fear. Building, not adjacent to 2 towns or cities. That's isolated. We do get a build here from the high immigration build, coastal lands. We are ravaging because it's adjacent to 3. We're ravaging. We're defended 4. Ravaging. I don't even know why that was there. Oh yeah, good town got. Oh right, because I wiped out the explorer with the thing, and then I wiped out the town there. I don't know. I think there was a town there. I think I wiped it out with Earth Shudders last turn. So that's done. Building. We're getting a city here. Town here. City here. Town here. Exploring. Mountains. Mountains. Jungles. Jungles. Beta cards advance. So I can move a presence with a town or a Dahan or whatever. Also have that. All right, so I can push 1 town and gather a Dahan with this. I could push this and bring a town with it. And I can do that again. I can bring a beast with it. I can bring whatever. I'll push this presence here and bring a beast with it. I can do that twice. The first time was a target spirit, second time was me. Now I'm going to target here. Oh, I can target here. 2 damage per quake token, so that's 6 damage. That kills this, and it's only the cities and towns. So that kills the city. The town has 1 health left. That's 2 fear card. And then I'm going to do the second level because it had 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to do 1 fear off the top, 6 more damage here to just cities and towns. Remove a quake token. 1 fear. These 2 are out. 2 fear. Remove a quake token. Oh, did I remove an explorer? No, I don't think I did. Yeah, it's only the cities and towns. So I think I tried to remove an explorer, then I remembered I couldn't, or I just got lucky and was like, oh, that's not worth it. Yeah. So again, that's only the cities and towns, not to everything. Which is fine. So we just have a bunch of raggedy explorers left. That's good. Time's gonna pass. We are close to a fear victory here. We're gonna reclaim our cards. Gain a major without forgetting. I'm gonna get 2. I have 7 energy, which is a fair amount of energy. That's interesting. 2 damage, isolate, plague ships. Not going to stress it too much. Melt earth into quicksand seems about what the doctor ordered. We are going to add a. Nope, that was it. I picked one. So if you get up to here, by the way, you start adding 2 energy on appending cards. That's kind of crazy. Both these cards are going to come into play because they're both getting 1 energy on them. And I already gained the 2 into my supply. So those are pending. Now we're not. So I can play 5 cards, including 1 in pending. That has to be in pending. Question is, can I get 2, 4, 2? If I just try to get the water cards out. I wouldn't have really any cards in pending, which is like, who really cares at this point? I mean, I'm 6 sphere away from a fear victory. This is probably more reasonable. That's only could target a sand or a wetland. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's not going to help me. That doesn't help me. Whoa, interesting. That's probably better for next turn. So I consider that for next turn. If there is a next turn, probably not. I probably just want to get 6 sphere. So if I go here, that's 1 card played. These again were pending from last turn. I can put this into play for 3. Nope. I would, if it's least as many. This, I think that's just not even going to trigger. At least I'll have it for the elements. And I think I pushed the 3 Dahan no matter what. So it's like, if I have this, I do this. And then either way, I push up to 3 Dahan. So I like pushing Dahan. So that will go there. Oh, this has a target an inland land? Oh, I've already cheated. I majorly cheated. Woof. Yeah, that Thickets Erupt has to target inland land, even though it's a jungle. I wish it was like, that's one of those cards that like thematically should be inland or jungled. Yeah, I would have lost additional loss condition the first time around. I used that to do 4 damage there and got rid of a city, which I could not do. There was no way around that. Every time I see the IN, I just assume it says invaders. So that was my fault. That's my fault. Yeah, there's no point. There's no point now. But you could see, like, again, the absolute strength of doing this. But yeah, once I realized that I already had a mistake, that would have made this game go away. So yeah, just England's additional loss condition rears its ugly head. I might just keep playing England with like the stronger spirits, but they're longer playthroughs, and there's reasons why I don't normally pull them out of the box. It is this kind of a grind experience, but at least it's not like the math, mess. It's not like the math cluster that Russia is. I played the Forgotten Power scenario yesterday, which is like rank 1 difficulty. I crushed it, but it wasn't this hard. Oh yeah, England's nuts. And then Dances Up is again a very high complexity spirit. So it's an interesting combo. Like this game just I just never had anything where I was on top of land 2, and that's one of the things when you're starting over here. I was trying to do different things. I probably should have been a little bit more concerned about the potential for land 2 to kill me. Yeah, the fact that that had to be an inland land, so that targeting got wrong, and really just absolutely changed the game. The event I got yesterday where I absolutely just annihilated England. It was against the new invaders from afar that absolutely changed the game for me. And again, it's they took out the old one. Numinous Crisis. Here you go. Far off wars touch the island, where you generate 2 fear, you destroy half of the towns rounded up and half of the cities rounding up, so you don't have to worry about like the randomness of the major power, but it's causing you 2 blight. And then when I went 2 blight, then I ended up having like memory fades to dust, which was absolutely fine for the spirit. I had enough presence on the board to do what I needed to do. But this holder is falling apart, so I need to stop doing that. But that is that. Do you like solo two-handed better? I used to love True Solo primarily. Now I probably play two-handed. I play more with friends though, like two-handed, three-handed. Um, I think learning a spirit, I think it's always best to learn them True Solo. That's my bias. I mean, I think you just really see the plus and minuses. I mean, again, I think the spirit is it's interesting, it's cheesy, it's just a little bit too strong for my taste. I just don't think um it kind of scratches that itch for me. As I said, I mean, again, after having thoroughly lost, but even you see like without the additional loss condition, but you know, this is not this was not a hard matchup. Again, I never went Blighted Island. You know, if I went Blighted Island, unattended land crumbles. Add a blight to a land adjacent to blight. Spirits may prevent this on any boards by paying 3 energy, destroying a presence, and then 4 more blight. Like that would not have been a bad Blighted Island card for me. So I'm, you know, without the additional loss condition, there was never there was never the overwhelming sense. Oh, England, like we kind of are always in control. We're playing so many cards. Everything's so damn cheap. This is an interesting mechanic where you can like get things to be on faster, but I think if you're doing this a lot, like you're probably just you probably are this is like oops, I made a mistake and you got your timing off and now you're trying to like get something on the board quicker, which is interesting. I don't know. I don't know why you just wouldn't want the extra card every turn, like just to kind of because the more cards you have and I guess you're getting a presence out either way, so you know again, getting the extra card every turn is super super helpful because you're going to get the element you need anyway. But yeah, I don't know, man. I would say my more memorable games in the last 2 3 years have definitely been two handing with my friend. I've had some really nice two-handed playthroughs on the channel. Um, but if it's just me and I'm gonna set up the game and I want to play it multiple times, like I'll probably gonna my default's probably still gonna be true solo, especially now that I have so many new spirits that I'm gonna want to learn on some level. While also like getting back to my old favorites, and you know, I'm not someone that really enjoys seeing the many combos that are out there. But so I don't know. I mean, it's not like Too Many Bones. Like Too Many Bones is like clearly better at two-handed. It's just way too. It's just not balanced well at one. I mean, this game balances really well at one and at two. It does create a little bit more like a couple of layers of like rules. Like, oh, how does this work again, True Solo? But like, it's not that bad. Like, it's probably one of the best games I think for you know the fact that there is no really additional rules overhead if you're playing True Solo. Um, so you know I think it's one of the best parts of the game, and that why it's so popular is that it is so flexible and can really cater to so many different preferences. Table of Troubadour for Dancing Boy. I read the top track to generate turn 4/2 majors right innate strategy, and I can't unsee it now. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could. It makes sense. I mean, it makes sense to me. Like I'm a sucker for a lot of minor powers. Like it's like one of the ways I enjoy playing the game. But I could definitely see like if you get a major, you have a ton of energy. You're just cycling innates, like a cycling majors um, that are really strong. I think there's limitations to that in the sense of you're going to have less cards out, so you're hitting less innates. You know, because at some point you're still playing these majors, and they still need to be triggered right. So there's a limitation. The less cards you're playing is the less cards you're going to have on the board, right? Just because each card, like, even if I'm playing 2 cards a turn, like there's only so many cards that are going to be ready on every given turn, and you really want to get to the point where you have like 3 cards over there and 5 cards in play because then you're maxing out your defense, you're maxing out this damage ability. But if you get like, yeah, if your majors are strong, like this damage ability it's superfluous, right? Like it doesn't matter. Um, so I don't. This is the most fun way for me to play the spirit. I mean, I think the first time I played it, I just went for the 7 cards in play, and I just ignored the defense. and that was freaking also nuts because then you're doing 2 damage and then 1 damage to each invader. I mean, that's just really like, it's really not that hard to trigger. This might be one of the easiest innates to trigger in the game, just because you can get so many card plays. In addition to if you're timing your you know your impending cards well. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just, again, as I said when I started, like if I lose, like it's gonna be like, I it's kind of messed up, and if I win, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, you're kind of supposed to win with this spirit, and those spirits don't hit that sweet spot for me at all. It's like this is definitely not a spirit I'm gonna play very often. And if I have a friend that really wants to take on a high complexity spirit, I'm gonna have a hard time telling them to play with this one as opposed to, you know, Starlight or Fractured Days, which I think just give a much more satisfying experience. The balancing of this one is just, it's like Many Minds meets Volcano, like you know, plus just like some a little bit of brokenness on top. But yeah, I think my limitations in the England matchup is, again, just been so long since I played England that I I I kind of let that addition. I mean, the fact that I played 3 times and I lost twice, and both times I lost was additional loss. That's a problem. That's a me problem, right? Like that's me, like not adjusting to the fact that, hey, it's England. You have to do some suboptimal things over here to make sure you're not losing over here. But I was so focused on trying to negate adjacencies, I absolutely failed in negating adjacencies, and then on top of that, I set myself up for the additional loss. The spirits I've got interesting though, somewhat OP or not. At least they have different build strategies. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I think the spirits to me have gotten. I think Eric Royce has gotten better at making spirits, which I think actually makes for a worse game. And that's just my bias. I think the original spirits were all a little crunchy in a way, and like Shadows was a disaster for me, and then I played them enough, and then I ended up like learning how to make Shadows work, and I enjoyed that process a lot more than I've enjoyed learning this dude, because he's just so damn strong. Like I can play him poorly and still crush a game. Like that's not great. Like that's not what I want out of my solo games. I want to like have to play well to do well. And I think that the synergy is possible with Behemoth and Dancey Boi and whatever. Like, yeah, maybe there's multiple ways to build them, but there's really no wrong way to build them because they're so damn strong. And I think that's a problem. The Wounded Waters I like. Um, but every spirit I played, it's almost like, oh, I'm just gonna go this one track. I mean, even Wounded Waters is kind of like, I think there's a really interesting interplay with the elements, but you really only have one track you can go down. So that's like the growth options are not nearly as interesting to me with some of the new ones. And again, I think the fact that there were flaws in the designs of the originals actually made them more interesting. You had to be more responsive to the cards you were getting and how you wanted to build them. I mean, and like, I don't know. I mean, if you look at the Jagged Earth Spirits, they were super interesting. I mean, like, and I mean, a couple like Finder's a little gimmicky to me, right? I mean, super gimmicky. We have Volcano's a little, but in Volcano, there's different ways. You go for the big bops, you go for little bops. I mean, Vengeance, I think, is awesome. Like, I think those spirits are way more interesting to me than the ones in Nature Incarnate. And it's a mixed bag. It's like it's half and half. Like I like half the spirits, and the other half I'm like they can kind of stay in the box. It's kind of how I feel about the Horizon spirits. The Horizon spirits are so stupid. They all generate so much fear, like, and all do something very very well. It's like, well, okay, you need low complexity spirits. It's fine, so I can take on harder challenges with my newer friends. But like I'm never gonna like want to turn to them to be how I want to play this game. So I say I'm of 2 minds. Maybe I'm of one, really. But like the last, like Darkness, I like Darkness. Darkness is a fun puzzle with some not. It's a good power level. maybe a little bit strong, but not too strong. It's a good puzzle. Like this one, like if I was playing as anybody but England, like this isn't really a game, right? Like I lost because of the additional loss condition. Like I would have smushed Scotland. I'm smushing France would be interesting because France, he Dancey Boi deals a lot better with the towns and cities than he does with the explorers. So I think that would be a hard one. I could see that. But the rest of them, like you're crushing Sweden for sure. You could get things going quick enough to beat Prussia. Gestures, did they give a difficulty scale? Did he do spirits? Yeah. I mean, I think they do. They have. So the original game had 2 easy spirits, 4 medium, and 2 hard, or two easy, 3 medium, and 3 hard. Um, then you had your promo spirits, which were both high complexity, like Wildfire and Serpent. And then you had Branch and Claw, which gave you 2 moderate complexity spirits in Fangs and whatever. But yeah, if you go on the back, you just see there that there were Jagged Earth introduced all like a couple of moderate, 4 high complexity, and 2 very high. And then you had the promo spirits, which were both also high complexity. Nature Incarnate again is mostly high and very high. And then you had Horizons, which gave you 4 low complexity spirits, 5 low complexity spirits to go along with the ones you had in the base game, which were essentially River, Green. No, it wasn't Green. It was River, Lightning was low complexity. Um, so there's definitely a progression, and that's a good point from Troubadour. Like, you know, if you're only having a hard time beating level 4, sure, dude. Like, I think this is cool because, like, if that's what this is doing, like, giving people the chance to really beat level 6 adversaries more regularly, like, dude, I'm all for that. Like, that's super awesome. Like, and I totally like, you know, for me, like, yeah. So it gave me more adversary. It would give me more spirits that will give me a chance to more enjoy England again. That's interesting to me, I guess. But I'd still not. I'd still rather play Habsburg. I love the mining colony. I think that's a really nice adversary. I think it's a really nice addition to the game. So that's been good. But like, I don't. I just don't enjoy a game with England because they just tend to be super long and there's so much plastic. And even when you win, sometimes with the sphere victories, you look at the board and it's not exactly a satisfying win. The game is like, go, you got to lose a bunch to actually get better. Oh yeah, dude, I got trounced for months in this game. Like I had a chart. I just kept, you know, playing the base game until I beat all adversaries at level 6, and then I added Branch and Claw, and then, you know, kind of went from there. But I mean, if you look at even the early part of my channel, I was mostly playing level 3. And then I started playing level 4s, and I started playing level 5s and 6s, and then 6 just became the norm, right? Especially with Jagged Earth, and especially with an event deck that was a little bit more forgiving. Uh, you know, with power decks that got a little bit fuller. So you know, it's definitely one of those, you know, those progressions, and you know, it's hard. It's hard for a game to have that infinite progression, and I do think that Spirit Island, there is a sense where it is true that that progression kind of ran its course for me a little bit. Like I'm still far from the best player in the game, but I've gotten so much. I've gotten a bunch out of this game, and like more than I could have ever imagined. But now I'm like going back to games that had, like, again, like the very rare games that actually I think give me more of that experience that I'm still learning. I'm still progressing. Like Mage Knight for me, you know, I was obviously step back as number 1, but you know, I'm sorry that I was a big cheater with Thickets Are Up. This is why I play live, guys. You guys are supposed to correct me and let me know when I'm doing stupid things, like playing Thickets Are Up as an inland power. So yeah, like that would have been a big fat loss. I don't know what card I could have gotten. That was crazy because that was like such a weird turn because I got that event card. I was like, oh, that could be the event that saves everything, and then it just wasn't. Um, but yeah, I mean, really, what I would have been able to afford to play that turn, that would have been really good. Yeah, I don't know, man. I was in pretty bad shape. I was in pretty. I mean, Indomitable Claim would have been fine, but I still would have had 7 dudes on the board. Walls of Rock and Thorn would have been nice. That would have been the card I needed. That would have been the card. 2 damage. Ooh. Oh, I don't know if I had any destroyed damage, any destroyed presence. This is in a single land within 2 damage to each town and city, and then 4 additional damage. If you that would Blazing Renewal would have really crushed my elements. Irresistible Call would have been good. Got all those towns out of there. I think I had those elements too. Spill Bitterness. I mean, I would have had to add Blight with some of the really good ones. Skipping Act, like Venomous Spiders would have been good. Sleep and Never Waken would have been a cheat code. Oh dear God, would that have been a cheat code? Just skip all actions. Done. Every action. Doesn't happen. Dream of Untouched Land could have been good. Paralyzing Fright. Yeah, I guess there were more in here that could have been helpful. Yeah, I picked the right card. I think in my head too. I thought it was like Angry Bears. Is Angry Bears? What's Angry Bears? There we go. That target land's any, but you need that target land is presence, range 0, and you need 2 and 3. Interesting. Woo! Yeah, the problem is the power level of a spirit is based upon both its power level plus your skill level. The same spirit is way weaker being played by me. Same thing with Arkham Horror 2nd Edition. I am way more skilled than you, so the enemies are not as hard because of my skill. Troubled Troubadour. Yeah, I mean Arkham Horror. I mean, isn't. I don't know if I find those enemies hard. I mean, you're still. It's a, I've killed a bunch of enemies in that game. It's just a matter of knowing the meta game and how you're setting up that you can either close the gates quick enough or at least be able to kill the end guy before he takes away all of your equipment and whatever. So I think that's just an experience thing with the meta. Like I don't find the individual like I don't think I've played the game with my friends where we're like, oh my gosh, how do we deal with the enemies? It's like, oh, go here, you have this, go kill the enemies. Like, but I think the skill in that game again, I think is for me is more of the overarching strategy and how you're just setting up for the long game and whatnot. Troubadour, anyway, thanks for seeing, man. It's great to hear how you struggle with decisions and why. Oh, yeah. And how I mess up rules. Difficulty in the game is hard to predict and calculate. It's based upon the game, the power, the spirit, or whatever charter you're using, plus skill of the player. Yeah, you know, I think the complexity ratings are for sure the ratings of like how difficult it is to grasp how the spirit works. I don't agree with all their complexity ratings. Like Grinning Trickster is rated as a moderate, and I would definitely make Grinning Trickster a high complexity spirit just because of the way it uses tokens and whatnot. I think the difficulty ratings that are more interesting for newer players is looking at like if you I actually wrote these in, but the later printings actually have it on there. So like level 1 England's a difficulty 3, level 2 England's a difficulty 4, level 6 England's a difficulty 10. But even like Eric Royce says, like, yeah, we didn't go up to 11 at that point. It's actually an 11. Level 6 Russia is considered an 11. So I think that's where you're like, this is how hard the challenge is. So if you're less experienced, you're going to want to pick a spirit that's a little bit easier to grasp because like a spirit like this is very easy to be played wrong and then you're not doing anything. Um I don't think I'm an expert at Dances Up Earthquakes. I think it's a very it's a really strong spirit. I have a way I like to approach it, that's allowing me to trigger my innates consistently while getting cards and like having them cycle in and out. And unfortunately, it just didn't work out for me on the video. So, um, but yeah, I mean, it's this game because you have adversaries. You can play without adversaries. You can play without blight cards. You can do a lot of things to really slowly creep up the difficulty, and then you decide how you want to learn the game and what spirits you want to learn how to play with first. And one of the things I really loved about learning this game is I played it with my friends. Like my friend Steve was naturally good with Wildfire and just like picked it up. Like and all my friends I think just had like a spirit that they kind of that spoke to them. And I learned a lot from watching my friends be like, oh, that's how you're supposed to play that spirit. That's super interesting. But now it's more of like I played my first game with Gaze the other day, and at the end of the game, I was like, all right, I know why I was playing this spirit wrong. Next time I play with Gaze, I think I'm gonna have a much easier experience because I played so many games, and I was like, all right, I approached it this way. I was like, oh, that didn't totally work. I see that why. I see that in the design. This is much more the way I'm supposed to go. But I do think that idea that the spirits have like a trick to them is not as apparent in the original iteration of Spirit Island as it is in the later expansion content, which is why I think Eric Royce has gotten better at developing spirits, but it's also kind of made it a little too streamlined. It's like too neat, right? Things are too good. There's too much synergy. There's not enough like of the crunchiness that I just kind of grew to love about the original. So, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, nature. Look, if you love the game, you're gonna get all the spirits, and then you play what you want. It's just I could have done without Nature Incarnate. I think. Even liking, I could have done without it. I'm glad I have it. I could have done without it, and I am, on some level, still pretty glad to be going through the next 6 of the new spirits. Um, I am more excited about the ones that aren't as strong for sure. Even as I got myself trounced, which is how it goes because I go in all arrogant about something and I get trounced. So, but hopefully the alternate universe. I do feel like an idiot that I cheated because that would have been an interesting exercise had I not been misplaying thickets, and then I was just like a waste of time. Are you planning a top 25 game video of all time? Probably not. I think those are a thing of the past for me. I don't think I'm keeping up with the newer games as much, and I think at some point it's just going to be repetitive if I'm not learning a bunch of new games. Um, I like what I like, and I'm excited to. I probably have 2 dozen games, a lot of them smaller, but like that I've really wanted to kind of feature and get into and kind of show off um, and explore. So like I think for me, I got plenty of things, but it's instead of getting those things on the channel in 6 to 12 months, it's going to take me 3 to 4 years. I mean, I'm not getting to games like I used to. I'm not acquiring games like I used to. I'm not getting review copies like I used to. So, because I just don't have the time to do it all. But my last one's gonna have to stand the test. And honestly, there's been very little change. My top 5 is my top 5, and you know, I'm excited to. I find myself more excited to play those games than I do to learn a new game, and I think that's pretty telling about where I'm at my journey in gaming. So that is it. So this was long. It was unsuccessful. We'll be back next time. I think Ember died. I'm just going in alphabetical order in case you haven't realized this, because who wants to think? I think Ember is next. Yeah, Ember Behemoth. So we go from one overpowered spirit to another. I'll figure out a good challenge for them. I definitely don't want to play England twice in a row because maybe I will. Whatever, maybe I'll do it. And then after that's Hearth Vigil. They're also kind of broken. When's the next one I feel like is not broken? Wandering Delirium, I think, is not broken. Gaze. I'm excited about Gaze. I do want to play Gaze again. I enjoyed losing with them and then having a chance to think through why after the fact. Towering Roots I have not played yet. I've heard they're pretty strong. And then you have Delirium and Wounded Waters. So we will end that with Wounded Waters, which is great. I think Wounded Waters is very interesting, and I think they are very far from overpowered. So that makes me like them more. And then we will probably do two-handed playthroughs to get through the aspects. So that's something to look forward to for all you two-handed people and all you people who love the aspects. So I'll figure out how I want to play them, and I might just do a lot of first looks with those. Just kind of do a level 6 basic matchup with like Sweden or whatever, and throw them together, see what happens. But that's that. But this has been super cool. I'm planning to get a playthrough of Super Hot on the channel before I forget the rules to that. That's an interesting little card game with a take on deck building. I was interested in the idea of it, and kind of like the execution of it. So that's something I want to get into. And I do think there's some big box games that are kind of calling my name now that I just got Euthia and Primal. I want to try to clear some things out before I really dive into either of those, because once I dive in, I might not ever come out. So it's one of those things. So this has been great. Hope everybody's having a great evening. Questions, comments, epiphanies, put them in the comment section below. Any other rules mistakes I made that I did not realize, obviously mention those as well. But I don't know, people don't seem to need encouragement for that. But we will be back with more Spirit Island at some point pretty soon. So that's about it. And thanks again. Until next time, happy gaming.
Solo.